recording. All right, perfect. So, welcome. Uh, as you guys know, I always start this show with some fundamentals. So, today we dropped 5 points on the Fear and Greed Index compared to yesterday. Yesterday we were at 24, so from 9 to 24 to 19. Quite interesting. It's also interesting that we dropped going into the weekend, right? We're back in extreme fear. We were in fear yesterday, so we should be, or the sentiments going back towards uncertainty, right? Looking at our liquidation maps now, this is interesting because yesterday the longs were piled up over the shorts. So I might have done a premature long, I think, but right now, given this sort of arrangement we've got, and I think even on the 7 day, yeah, we're sort of closer, right? Now, you are going to get a lot more liquidity if you go down at this point, really flush out the 1 day longs. So we're looking at potentially a 67K drop. But you do have clusters building up to the top side. So that does tell me that there is potential for us to maybe get a scalp short and a scalp long in this session. Looking at the 12 hour, we were closer to strong yesterday, but we have since dropped to neutral again in terms of the average RSI. 24 hours showing the same relative drop. Yeah, in 1 week, average RSI is still weak, so I do expect some sort of move to the upside up until perhaps the end of March, in which case I will switch over to a more bearish outlook. Hey, Darkness. Love the username. Welcome, welcome. All right, looking at our liquidity heat map, it corroborates what we saw with the leverage, right? In the sense that there is very little liquidity to the downside in the 24-hour chart with your hotspot at 71.6K. We're also looking at hotspot at 74K here on the 48-hour, and yesterday we were heavily imbalanced to the downside. So now that we are heavily imbalanced to the upside, I am expecting potentially a long scalp, and well, actually, here in the 3 day we do have a hotspot down to about 66.8K, so that's something we have to watch out for. Same thing here on the 1 week, hotspot about 67K. Another one about 64. But in the immediate term, it appears as though we do have more hotspots to the upside. So that about ends our fundamental analysis. Let's head over to the TA because that's the fun part. Now, what is not fun is the fact that the long that I set, unfortunately, got stopped out. You know, some of these things you really can't stop them. Despite the fact, let's say here on the 30 minutes, I think this one. Here on the 30 minutes earlier when I posted that, I don't see any signs to be worried about yet. I think it was here where we got a peak bottom, a bullish cross. So, we are now getting a bearish cross on our 30-minute chart. So yeah, we are oversold. Yeah, right over here. We pushed back up. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and remove this so that we can better reframe what we're looking at. So what I'm seeing here is our point of interest lies at about 68,000 here on the 30-minute chart with a support at 67.7K. Now we do have this FVG, but part of its liquidity has already been taken out. We are oversold here on the 30 minutes. The 1 day did print a reversal triangle. CPO Plus is still trying to head up, and we are getting some bullish momentum, but given the current trend of the candles, it's difficult to ascertain if that's actually the case. Now, if we zoom out here, right, we lost quite a few supports. So we lost this support, and now we're back to this support. We lost that support as well. So an unwinding at this point is very, not peculiar, but it's going to be very pivotal to what we're going to do for today. So what I would expect, or what I'm sort of watching out for, is if we bounce here, we can potentially scalp it back to the dynamic reactor, or at least to this support at 70k. But if we lose this, I would wait for a bounce here, back up here, and then do a short back to about 66.4k. So that's going to be the strategy for today. At least that's what I'm seeing. Uh, Now, the premise for why we might go short from a liquidity perspective, of course, is the fact that we did see bottom side liquidity. So a move to this level would make sense. It would also be the logical place for, I mean, we did build support right here. So it could potentially hold. Hey, little fish, welcome. Oh, good morning, good morning. Uh, so yeah, what I'm looking for, or this point of interest for me is very important. If we bounce off of it, if when we touch it, which we most likely will, right, because it is market open. If we bounce off it, I'd wait for a move to the FEG, maybe a retest back down, then we can long to 70k. But if we break below it, I would wait for a move to this support, get maybe a retest of the level, and then short back down to 66. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, not that great. What's the actual metric? Let's see. Yeah, he unconditional. Honestly, it's a little exaggerated, but then he was very firm when he said that he wanted an unconditional victory. Um, let's see here. Let me find the exact words used. There. Yeah. There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader, we and many of our wonderful and brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, make Iran great again. Miga. You know, at some point, you're just gonna run out of words to add M and G and A to, right? There's only so many vowels you can use. It would be funny if there was a country that started with U and then you went with Muga, because that sounds funny. Yeah, no, I don't think it's definitely going to rise. I mean, we can look at UK oil. I know that's the one trading on Mexi, but oil in general. Oh wait, no, that's not oil. Sorry, that's Samsung Electronics Korean stock market. I mean, look at that, right? Crazy. This is oil. Now, what is curious, right, is had we been looking at oil, oversold December 16, 2025. So, in terms of liquidity, right, we were expecting some push for oil, but given this war, your upward trend is now, excuse me, your upward trend is just insane now, to the point that it's far too overextended, but it can push further. The fact that there's money inflow tells me that you are going to push further for oil. Now, if we zoom out to the 1 week, right, you don't like see, or no one likes to see such huge gaps. Right. That is an enormous gap, and of course that corroborates the whole um the start of the US Iran war. Yeah. Now Venezuela's trigger was around here ish, and you can see that it did push oil back, but it immediately corrected on the weekly. But of course, with the US Iran war, you just jumped. You skipped the dynamic reactor, you're now at the quantum reactor. Right, you are overbought. But truth be told, right? Oh, when was this? This was 2020. Don't know what it would cost oil to dump that much, but in any case, what is true is we've seen oil push to $123.75 per barrel. This is per barrel, yeah. per barrel. So it is possible. Yeah, COVID. Yeah, this is. Oh yeah, yeah, because no one needed oil. Yeah, everyone was locked. Well, there was still electricity, so people did need oil. I don't know, but this is just a shock of COVID. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, now oil is facing resistance on the 1 week premium, as well as your prime block. So it might be more prudent to look at the month just to see what we're truly dealing with. Now I don't really like this pattern, right? Uh, Double bottom. This is more of a descending wedge for oil. And if you flag out like that, right, just to give us an idea of where oil could go, you could make, or you could revisit a previous high of 140, and this was 2008. That's fun. Everyone loved 2008. I don't know. Do you guys remember 2008? What happened in 2008? That would be fun. I mean, not fun, but that's what the charts are saying. Hey, Cranium. Oh, it's been a while. Welcome back. Hey, Ma. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Just looking at oil right now. Oh yeah, we should probably look at Bitcoin still. So we are getting rejection. Let's see if we can sustain this rejection here in the 30 minutes. So again, the game plan is, if we get rejected, we could easily go to the FEG, retest back, double bottom, then we can take a long back to that support that we flipped into resistance of 70.8k. If we fall below this, what I would do is wait for some sort of reaction, move back to the upside, and then short. And then we'd be able to test the extension of the previous descending channel we made, and that would also test the 67k support and see how things unfold from there. Yeah, back to oil, because it is fascinating, right? So on the monthly, this is the 1 month chart, it wouldn't be unprecedented for oil to go back to 140. However, unlike this move from 2008, we do have points at which oil has exhausted multiple times. 2011, 2022. So I do think it would be prudent to set alerts just to see how oil's doing. If we get a rejection here, then hooray, most of us can drive cars happily again. If not, then I wouldn't discount it moving to 140, 141 per barrel. You're right. Sorry, you're right. It's not a double bottom. It's a bullish butt cheek. You're right. Bullish. Okay. Now I gotta draw it properly for everyone. So, for those who weren't here yesterday, I don't even know how we got to the topic, but then we ended up drawing like a McDonald's, and then no, we renamed this to a bearish butt cheek. A bearish butt cheek. So, to explain this, you got a flatulent force pushing price up. And right now, or when we were here, there was sort of a flatulent force pushing price down. Because, it's a bearish butt cheek. So now we can see that from this wedge, you are getting a push back up. I don't think it's necessarily flatulence that's pushing it up. Maybe on a lower time frame, we got flatulence, but nah, that was just a gap. If anything, that's like the unexpected dookie, like an unexpected dookie, I'd say. An unexpected bullish dookie. There we go. Okay. So let's go to the lower time frames just to, oh no. And hey Dago, welcome. Let's go to the lower time frames. So again, the strategy for today is pretty clear. Looks like I longed too early, which sucks, but is what it is. But yeah. Oh, I've still got the drawing tool. That explains why I couldn't delete. I was just adding more dots. Okay. So, this area right here, if you shoot, 1 hour is oversold. Okay. If we bounce off of this area, is this the correct area? 30 minutes is much clearer. Okay. So if we bounce off of this area right here, I'd expect maybe some kind of double bottom pattern, right? But if we break to this level of support based on the 1 hour, I want to see if we get rejected on the previous day low. If we do, we'll take a short. But if we bounce, we break above it, get back to at least, or stay above the previous day low, we see like a break above, retest, I would go for that would be a bullish butt cheek pattern, and I would long it to our previous entry. So yeah, so very simple, right? Break below previous day low, or you stay above it, make a bullish butt cheek pattern or some sort of retesting. We long to 70.8 or new resistance. If we break below it, right, and we go here and we test, what I'd expect is a test of previous day low, and then if we get rejected, then any bullish butt cheek pattern would have failed, and oh wait, that would go boop, boop. I don't know what to call that. I don't know what to call that. Little fish, help me. Oh yeah, absolutely. Awesome analogy. Okay, sorry. Cranium. So to answer your question, if you go to your desktop, you can click on this little thing, and then you can select how much you want. So obviously, the more you go, it would benefit if you have a bigger monitor. But for focus and whatnot, it's best to just have two. Then if you're on your mobile device, so let me lower my brightness so we can see that better. Oh, and let me put on do not disturb so nothing appears. You just need to click the three dots right over here, and then you'll find the layout setup on the top left, right there, and then you just click that, and then you can select. Yeah, nice. You're very welcome. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's erectile dysfunction. Or that could be peeing. I don't know. It's one of them. But you know what? Yeah, limp dick. I'll go with limp dick. Yeah. I forgot who used the pattern before, but you are so right. Yeah. This is erectile dysfunction. Yeah. This is the kind of things you won't hear on Renair's streams. Or I don't know. I can see Alex and OC speaking like this. But yeah, limp dick. When if your mind isn't in the gutter, then it's not a mind at all. No. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, if your mind isn't in the gutter, then it's not a mind at all. Welcome, Selmet. Hey, Gur, welcome. Okay, I should probably announce that I got stopped out. This is what I get for driving. Driving to go home, got stopped out while driving, BTC, on update, got stopped out. Well, we'll get the next one. The next one. Crypto signal. Gotta be real. Okay. Okay. All right. Sol short. Yeah, I think that was smart. Actually, where did this Solana move come from? Oh yeah, this was the old idea that I said. Good thing that was just an idea. Ton. I'm still really salty about the Bitcoin short. The one over here. Like, what was it, 74.3? Still really salty about that one because it was so close. It would have made a ton of money. Good morning. Yeah, still salty about that, but you can't dwell on the ones that got away. You gotta keep moving forward. Toncoin. Yeah. Not looking too peachy. Solana. Yeah, again, I really do think Solana's sort of underperforming. Like, yeah, okay. It did get a decent move up, but clearly in terms of structure, it's not the same. It's just not the same as the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if we go zoom out to the 1 day, right, it's just not the same. This is a clear defined descending channel, broke out. Actually, this might be a macro retest of the descending channel. If that's, I mean, that is a thing, but technically we got that retest on the 4 hour. But I'm guessing there's a lot of selling pressure here, so we might want to just love tap the descending channel, then bounce. But you never know. Now, one thing I did want to point out, I got a lot of Bitcoin charts actually. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. So if we go to the 1 month, and if I change this to Binance, right? We're technically at the monthly support, or we tapped the monthly support, right? We are trying to get a move back up, but note that there's technically still 25 days. Now, the move that we're following from 2022 is this March move, right? So, starting at the end of March, we closed right over here. So, as we know, that's like a 30% move. But notice how February, or the month of February, closed green. Month of March closed green. The month of February here closed red, and the month of March hasn't closed yet. So I still foresee some kind of potential move just back here to the dynamic reactor, because notice that when we the moment we got rejected was when we revisited or closed right above the dynamic reactor. So going back to the dynamic reactor, closing a month above it isn't out of the cards, and that would set up a lower high from a monthly perspective, and that would set you at that support that is now resistance. So you'd be testing this support. That is a very ugly. I'll just use array. Why did I use array from the start? Right, you close at the chick magnet for the monthly. You get maybe a tiny move, convince people that you'll go to the 200-day, and then you dump back down, potentially back to wherever the 200-week moving average is, and then potentially even slightly lower and wicking something like this, right? So right now, given the moves that we're seeing on a micro level, okay, so we're approaching. We're approaching. Okay, let's go back to the 1 hour. Yeah, if we close like this, we're definitely going to see this move down to this prime block. Hey Rooney, 759. Loving Goku, of course. Iconic. Alright, let me just get a sip of my tea. Oh, Bravo crew, that's cool. Welcome. Alright. So, again, just to align this on the approach for today, we're at the point of interest here on the 30 minutes. We are oversold. We're also oversold on the hour. 4 hours still has some move to go. I should have clicked this first. The 4 hours still has some moves to go, right? We're at the 0 line. It is at the point of control. So, you know, we could bounce here, but if not, that's fine. Don't really mind. We missed a short opportunity yesterday, and actually the day before that, because we wanted to short above here, thinking it could push a little higher, but it didn't. It's fine. So right now, what we're looking at is a move to this prime block, a move to this macro support. If we bounce off of it and retest this, if we close above, then we could maybe potentially take a long, right? If not, then we've got a limp dick pattern, and we should take a short back down to the next point of interest. So, potential ideas, right? Short position, something like over here. Stop loss, we can keep it above this node, right? Or, you know, we can lower it just to get a nicer RR, like that. Maybe even like 1 to 2, that would be pretty good. So yeah, looks like we are going to go straight for it. If not before the close, then after the close. And then if we do break above it, right? We are likely going to see some kind of retest because we have an FVG here. So we can see something like this. And then if we can bounce off the point of interest here, right, then we've set up what we like to call on the stream a bullish butt cheek pattern. Then the flatulence will push us up to this resistance. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what the next couple of minutes bring us. So the first 30-minute candle printed. CPO plus is sort of shifting. We did close above the point of interest. So let's see if we can get to this level, retest point of interest, right? Go back up. That would be fantastic. If it just flies, I really don't think it could fly past, because you'd also have to face the dynamic reactor on the 1 hour. So in which case, let's go to the 5 minutes. Oh yeah, we should probably ideate the long position scenario. So something like this perhaps could play out. All right, stop loss will be below this prime block. Yeah, exactly. I also don't want to enter a short now, because even the 1 hour is oversold. Obviously, the 4 hour still has room to extend, but we are going to get some sort of push back up, and if we get rejected here, that would be great. Right? I would prefer sort of a rejection to set up our limp dick. That's okay. I'm sure the limp dick woke up pretty late too. Hey, M3551. Welcome. Although, is that supposed to be messy? Cool name, nonetheless. Yeah. Okay, let's just wait this out a little bit. In fact, let's look at a couple other things. I'll just set some alerts So I want to set it up here. This is where I'm looking at for a possible rejection, right? And yeah, let's look at gold. So gold did make its push. And what is fascinating is prior to a couple hours ago, right, gold did look like it fell. But now gold has gone back up and is even pushing above our um, trend line right over here. And it printed a bullish divergence. Pretty cool. Um, let's remove this trend line because it's not really relevant anymore. The question then becomes, can we sustain or close above this trend line? Because the last few times we've only ever wicked, and we've only ever kept a wick. So let's see if we can sustain that move. Let's go to 15 minutes. Right, I'm going to remove this projection. Oh yeah, look at that. We got a bullish butt cheek. Perfect bullish butt cheek on the 15 minutes. And of course, the flatulent force pushing price up. That's perfect. So it is facing a little bit of difficulty here at previous day high and the money flow POC. But, you know, if you close like this and you get a few consolidation candles here, maybe even just two, you could take a long right here and go up for gold. And you'd probably want to stop first at this FVG here and resistance. So that would put you... I probably shouldn't have drawn it like that. Just put array. So that would give you a pretty decent RR, all things considered, right? It looks like the contrarian strategy is not panning out, or the contrarian approach isn't panning out that well. So I'm going to shift my approach a little and go trend following. Oh, I shouldn't have moved that. But yeah, it's a nice 1 to 3.5 RR. So pretty good. And you would go oversold if you keep trying, overbought, my bad. You would go overbought if you keep trying to break POC and not break it. So let's just wait for gold. This is just an idea. It isn't an endorsement. So for those who are new, I like to just set up projections as ideas, revisit them later if I see anything of worth. Because, you know, it's just nice to put your idea there, then revisit it later once you find more confluence. So this is just an idea for now. I'm not going to act on it, but then when I sort of meet, or when it meets the conditions I'm looking for, we can absolutely take it. Let's look at silver. So silver hasn't really moved all the way down on the 12-hour to my liking. So I'm not quite confident just yet. In fact, let's actually look at gold on the 12-hour. Oh, that's the 1 day. Yeah, same with gold. So, you know, you still have potential for downside. This might not pan out, which is why I like to separate the things from ideas endorsements, because no, your bearish momentum is still fairly strong, right? It's still pushing down. These bottoming bars aren't exaggerated enough, unlike here, to really give me that much confidence. Now, of course, when you see bottoming bars, it's good for spot buys, but not right now. I don't think this is a good time to leverage trade gold or silver. I mean, absolutely could push up. There's no doubt in my mind. All right, so let's see how BTC's doing. So we're approaching the first set of resistance here at 68.6, right? So now let's go back to the 30 minutes to see what we're looking for, or if we can get what we're looking for. Right, so if we get rejected from here, we're going down to this prime block. The point of control on the 1 hour then becomes resistance, and we can continue into sort of a limp dick short, right? But if we push above, given that our fundamental analysis Actually, I should probably pull up the fundamental analysis. Oh my goodness, it's Pine Nut. Welcome. Oh, how auspicious. We were just talking about the limp dick pattern. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I really hope there aren't any children here. Okay, so if we look at your Bitcoin exchange liquidation map with leverage, right, and I like to use this as sort of a gauge for where liquidity is, you can see that there are more shorts than longs on the one day. There are bigger clusters for shorts on the upside. And when you have such a huge imbalance, you're likely to chase liquidity. Yesterday we had a larger imbalance to the upside. And the reason I've sort of made a bet on long was because they evened out, so I thought volatility will bring us to entry. We take them out. But I guess that was a little premature. Uh, Unfortunate. So yeah. So it does look like this is more favorable for scalp longs, potentially even swings. Now, the 7 day does give you the idea that there's going to be volatility, that it's going to want to take out everyone. So that is something to consider. Now, the liquidation heat map is also saying the same thing. Right, there are more shorts than longs with hotspots up to 71,000 and 74,000. So that tells me that given the low amount of cumulative liquidations at 162 million versus about a billion, that's a 1 to 5. Actually, it's maybe more like 1 to 6 ratio. There's a good chance we can scalp long into the weekend. And then we dump into the weekend or during the weekend because we do have liquidity down here at about 67,000. So yeah, okay. Let me stop sharing screen, go back to the charts. I made that mistake yesterday. Sometimes you really do forget to just move or transfer the application you're sharing. But yeah, okay. Actually, let's do 30 minutes with a 5-minute lower time frame. So, yeah, okay. It really does look like we want to get to this area here, which is your 1 hour prime block, but it's also your macro support here on the 30 minutes. Now, of course, if we go here, reject off this POC, that would mean it's a limp dick, so we gotta short it. But if we get over here, we break above it, right? FVG, retest, break above. Then we've got a double butt cheek and a bullish butt cheek. Then we're good. We can take a long. So 2 ideas, relatively near entries. We're just waiting to see which one comes to fruition. Let's look at other coins, see if we can do something similar in terms of the setup. Let's look at Solana. I'm not as confident in Solana right now because of just because of what it looks like structurally. I'm not convinced. So I mean, at least over here, it's relatively clear that there is some sort of support here at 83, and we can push up to 85. Now, the risk to reward for that I don't think it's going to be too high. So even if we put it down here by the middle, here's below support, yeah, it's about 1.5, 1 to 1.5. Don't know if that's worth it. Now, obviously, it could push up to the point of interest, and we know that point of interest really reliable in terms of profit taking, as far as profit taking indicators go, because this is a very strong support and resistance. So that prints 1 to 3, so that is possible, but it might be more prudent to take the same approach that we had with BTC. So I know, was it Little Fish who's on a soul short? I think so. Yeah, Little Fish, you're in a soul short. So Large FEG at 70k on the 4 hour. Da, 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 da. Oh no, wrong. Actually, we should probably look at USDT dominance as well while we're reviewing. Yeah, is it this one? Yeah. So that was what I was looking. That was where I wanted to short. I wanted to short right here at 74.3. Right, but it capitulated before it touched. So unfortunate, but when we get back there, let's see what happens. I sounded like Trump there for a second. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. It is what it is. Don't quote me on that. Make America great again. Okay, sorry. Um, oh, it's so fun to meme on presidents. Anyways, I hope I don't get shot down. Uh, yeah, so let's just see what happens. So the ribbon is pointing, or it is at the 0 line. And if we do the new shape, I think it will be smack dab on the 0 line. Okay, no, it's sort of break. Oh, okay, you can sort of get it to save. I mean, you can. It's possible, right? No, no. Yesterday. What was this? Yesterday, Daga was the one sending the Trump memes, and then JR was here. Yeah, you were here too. Yeah, then JR was just shooting out meme after meme after meme. Yeah. I don't know if I want to play that GIF. But yeah. No, no. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hey, Techwell, welcome. Welcome to the show. Okay, so let's go back to the 30-minute. So we are getting that bounce on the point of interest. So this is sort of following our first plan, but let's see if we can successfully move, right? So our first plan was, if we got to this point of interest, we need some sort of test of this level, maybe a couple candles. Excuse me. See if we reject, right? And then we can probably take a long. And I also want to see what happens when we get to this FVG. Now, of course, we can enter a long right here, but that might be a little too obvious. Given that these candles don't have bottom wicks, that is a little bit suspect for me. Not sure if I trust that fully, but what I do want is some sort of move here and a retest of the point of interest, and then forming your bullish butt cheek so that you got flatulent force to push you upward. Yeah, I live for these patterns. Double butt cheek. Oh no, bullish butt cheek, bearish butt cheek, and whatnot. Hey, Thanasi 911, welcome. Also, by the way, for those who are new here or have never been to the show, just let me know if you have any questions for indicators or any coins or assets you want me to look at. Just let me know. Yeah. Afternoon. Well, good evening from the Philippines. So yeah, it's about 11:15 p.m. here. So I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. For everyone where it's morning, I hope you guys have a wonderful morning. Yeah. Oh, no worries. It's all part. It's all part of a day's work. Hey, AK477, welcome. Okay. Hey, Takwo. So yeah, let's just see if this idea is gonna pan out. So, just to zoom out, let's go to, was it lesson? All right, so we are looking at the monthly. So we are technically on the monthly support, and following the 2022 cycle, right? we got above, or we closed above the dynamic reactor before capitulating. Now, of course, another thing that's served here is your 200-day moving average as well. Um, the likelihood of tapping that within this month, I'm not sure, but it would make sense for me if at least just March closed green. I don't know if April would close green, but notice that in 2022, at around this point in time, you had the Russia Ukraine war playing out, and it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it's just if four is just the magical number of the universe. Supposedly it's 618, but I don't know. Uh, it seems like cycles are cycling. Okay, where's Bitcoin again? So we did get a push. Let's see if we get rejected. Um, Swing flow and they pick this move 15 minutes. Is there something that will show FVG? Oh yeah, right here. So if you go to Market Dynamics Pro, which I'm sure you have because you've got the Pro subscription, you just go to settings, you scroll down. Oh wait, oh it's Oracle. My bad. Go to Market Dynamics. Right, you scroll down, fair value gaps. You can enable FVG. I think the default is actually, what is the default? Is it 5 or 10? It's been a while since I used the default one. So there will be a default number. It's not 3, but I keep mine to the low to 3 just so it's like higher quality FVGs, or at least the relevant ones, right? And then I do my imbalance to the highest volume. You can do mean, lowest volume, but I do highest volume because FVGs are produced by inefficiencies in the algorithm, and so they're not necessarily because they're liquidity pools, but it is possible that they're liquidity pools, right? But because they're inefficiencies made by the algorithm that's sort of managing all the incoming and outgoing orders, right? By setting it at the highest volume, if it's just algorithmic trading that day, it's most likely going to bounce off because it sort of succeeded at giving a fair price to everyone. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can enable imbalance volume, like what Little Fish said. It will give you some very interesting metrics, I believe. Oh, the the thing. Yeah. You're very welcome. So this will give you some pretty interesting metric. Why haven't the metrics appeared? Oh my goodness, no. Oh, where was the imbalance? Okay, there we go. So you will get some interesting metrics. Now, I have them off just because, it's a big number on the chart. Now it does minimize as you go away, but just for the sake of a little bit of clarity. Oh yeah, and feel free to have it on. It's all a matter of preference. Uh, I just put mine off. Yeah. So yeah. There are also other FEGs you might be interested in, but because market dynamics sort of consolidates market structure, FEG, POC, uh, order blocks, prime blocks, all those details, I just use market dynamics. Excuse me. But yeah. So what we could be seeing is like maybe a move like this. So I will stay up to watch this. And, one of my favorite things to look out for is always your bullish butt cheek. Bullish butt cheeks always make me happy. So this is what streamers feel when they say something that doesn't sound right. And they're just like processing. Okay, for context, guys, I've only really started streaming with Chart Prime around October. So I'm very new to this whole streaming setup, right? So, oh, bullish butt cheeks make me happy. It doesn't help that this is going on YouTube. Oh my goodness. Oh, yellow circle on the oscillator. Sorry. Okay. Oh yeah. So the yellow circle on oh my goodness. The yellow circle on the oscillator. Let me find it. So for me, I changed mine to a tag, but the yellow circle is a money flow divergence indicator. So you know how the CPO plus, like the middle sort of wavy thing, that middle oscillator is a money flow oscillator. So at this point, it's detecting some sort of divergence happening in money flow, and you can use it as basically another divergence signal, such as your bullish divergence, but specifically on money flow. So it's sort of a leading indicator because it's not necessarily reflected in price action itself, right? It's sort of reflecting on money flow. You won't be able to necessarily see that on price action. Now, of course, you can spot liquidity on price action. So, for example, this point right here is liquidity, right? That's liquidity. Uh, this point right here is liquidity as well. So this right here is liquidity. So you can spot liquidity, but volume and money flow in and of itself are metrics that price action might not necessarily show. So to spot that divergence is pretty useful in informing whether or not there's a potential, or in informing whether or not there might be a potential reversal, or it might just tell you that the move is weakening. Does it always bounce? Yeah, like what Daggett said, not necessarily. Um, Even the documentation for the for the dynamic reactors, that it's a great place to take profits or put entries. But essentially, what we're looking for on the dynamic reactor, or how I treat it, is just sort of like uh, a more informative moving average. It's something that moving averages might not necessarily tell you or give you information with. So, for example, uh, what's a good point here? Yeah, so notice that technically we're ranging here. You broke above it, and it was a really good retest, right? There are points here where you do get moves like this, but your CPO plus wasn't that, or it's really low, so you don't want to take a short there. So use it in conjunction with your other oscillators, and you can see at this point when we got the rejection, right, you still had room to extend. And basically, if you were just looking at, let's turn it off. If you were just looking at the oscillators at this point in time, you might think that you want to push down, but because you rejected off it with a pretty decent wick, you can sort of realize that, okay, there can be a move to the upside, and that's where the quantum reactor comes in, because it basically said, nah, this move is fake, and it shot us back down. So you use them in conjunction. My quantum reactor is set to slow, so it's the longer moving average. Yeah, longer moving average. Thank you. Um, my girlfriend also says that I have a wonderful sense of humor. I don't know if she's saying that to be kind, or if she actually means it. I'd like to think she means it. Yeah. Sorry, I kind of missed that, Gur. My bad. I think I was too focused on the FEG discussion. Anyways. No, 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 no. Don't. No, no. Don't. No. No. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't say that. No. Well, this is a very wonderful situation I've found myself in. I'm going to remember this while I study uh, after this. Yeah. One of these days, Alex and OC, they're gonna go on stream and then they're gonna hear me say, okay, so it's from a bullish butt cheek. I cannot wait for that day to come. Then they'll probably message me in our GC going like, Langstrom, what are you on about? What is wrong with you? Of course, I mean it's humor, right? If you can't make a joke out of yourself, then you can't make a joke out of anything in life. It's no fun. Da, 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 da. Oh, no, I set my quantum reactor to slow, but feel free to experiment. But I found this to be my so yeah. So dynamic reactor, different thing. Quantum reactor. Although I'm not sure if you have this, Rooney, because unless you have like the Plus subscription, because this is the Market Oracle Pro Plus. But if you do have the Plus subscription, then you have access to the quantum reactor. So I set mine to slow. If not, then you can use a more traditional maybe 200 MA instead. That should also work. And I guess we can compare. So this is the moving average. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. I like too much things. Yeah. Bravo kid. Yeah. Right here. So yeah, it's kind of ugly. And then let's change this to blue, and then let's make it thick with 2 C's so we can see it better. So you can see it kind of it's not exactly the same. So I'm not sure about like the calculation for how we get the quantum reactors and the dynamic reactors. It's variable from chart to chart. At least that's what I was able to observe. But you can see it sort of functions in a very similar way. But if you use just the 200 MA instead of the quantum reactor itself, you can see that you won't spot this bearish cross right away. It spots it relatively early. Now, we can also add maybe a lower moving average inputs, let's say 50. I know 50 is also popular. And notice that you get the cross way later than you will on. Oh yeah, that's like that thing. So yeah, and then let's turn this off. So you notice you'll get that cross way later, whereas with the quantum and dynamic reactor combo, you get it way earlier. So yeah. That's why I use both. So I know some people will use them as take profits or bounce zones potentially, but I use it as well to verify crosses. So the 30 minutes just closed. What I'm expecting is a rejection here. This looks too strong as a V-shaped recovery. If you can even call it a V-shaped recovery, it's like, yeah, I guess you can. I guess you can call it a V-shaped recovery. But what's going to be typical with these things is when you get to an FVG, you reject. So we might not get the scalp on stream, unfortunately. I mean, we could scalp short potentially. Actually, yeah, we could scalp short. Yeah, we could scalp short actually. Yeah. Damn, we could. And we can. Ooh, this. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I'm liking this idea. There's enough room for the CPO plus to unwind on the 5 minutes. Ooh. Mmm. This could be interesting. Now, the question is whether we go here or here. Of course, if we go here, or if we go here, we gotta lower the stop loss to get a better RR. Alright, something like this. But given the room to extend on the 5 minutes and the CPO, and sorry, the MVP ribbon, thinking something like this, and it will yield a pretty decent RR. Uh, yeah, and that short, short, yeah, it's a short. It could lead us to a uh, nice push to maybe a long entry. And I think that would also round out the 4 hours and allow it to fully extend down. I think so, right? Because it hasn't even touched the fluid zero line yet for the MVP ribbon. Okay, I think we have our trade for today. Yeah. So let's just do this. Let me hide this first so we can just observe the beauty that is this projection. I locked it. Oh my goodness. Uh, okay. So what are we looking at? That is an entry at 69 giggity giggity. Stop loss at 70. Take profit. Time frame bouncing off. Ooh, that's fun. Wait, let's go to the 2 hour. zero point 0.5 fib. How do you draw your fibs, if you don't mind me asking? Because that doesn't look right. Oh, sure, no problem. Take your time. 2 hour does look oversold too. Or you can take it from this to that. Oh, that wouldn't make sense. Oh. Do this. Oh, that would bounce off the 786. Huh. Mysterious. Anyways, yeah, I think this is gonna play out pretty well. 5 minutes does want that. I mean, it could. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna put an order for a short at 69.69.4 giggity giggity. And I'll probably also put a long. Yeah. I think we're good. Ooh, oh yeah, you're also using stochastics. Nice. Yes, got low stochastics too. Yeah. Yeah, and then you revisit the 382. Go back down, potentially even down to the 618. Yeah, but I think very similar ideas, but I do suspect that the 4 hour is going to push us down just to reset its MVP ribbon. Yeah, it's not that good, but we have Confluence saying we could get rejected at 69.694 giggity giggity. Sorry, how does Quagmire do it? Geek, geek. Oh, I can't do it. I'm not that much of a. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, the 4 hour could continue lower though. So I do want to short. I think I'm gonna proceed. Now it's possible we push to this node from here, right? Yeah, but look at this concentration of orders. It's crazy. It's all here. And it's probably why the price action came back, because it wants to see how these orders are doing. Excuse me. Uh yeah, I do think so too. I might raise the stop loss just a little bit higher. Entry. No, I think I can lower this entry to discount. Just to give a nicer RR. Yeah. I think I'll post this. So this is an official endorsement. Let's go short. And I'm looking for a bullish butt cheek pattern to form. You guys can quote me on that. Wait, no, don't quote me on that. The double bottom. No. I'm gonna get so much questions later. Oh my goodness. Oh no, short. I'm gonna get so many questions later. 11:40 p.m. BTC, 5 minutes, pushing to entry. Wow, 4 hour still remains bearish. Looking for a double bottom to set at around a potential double bottom at 68.2. 68.2K. It's SL above the 5 minute. That's how you spell above. Above the 5 minute prime block. The 5 minute prime block. At take profit at the 4 hour. Is this 4 hour? Yeah. POC. And I think we're good. Double checking. Oh wait, I didn't even add the proper entries. 694.6. Stop loss 70.360. Yeah, we can just do 7. 61. Yeah, it's a good question. I didn't even think about it. That's what, 68. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's go back to the chat, see what's no, there we go. Oh, hey baboon, welcome. Well, you missed quite a lot. Quite a few things have transpired. Oh, Hugh Hector's here too. Welcome. Vamshi's here too. Welcome. You missed quite a lot. So ever since yesterday, or starting yesterday, we've called this pattern bullish butt cheek, and we've called this pattern bearish butt cheek. Yeah. So this one has flatulent forces pushing it down and flatulent forces pushing up. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. You missed a lot. And then we also were able to see that a move down, a move up, a rejection is a limp dick pattern. I'm not quite sure what I want to call a move up, move down, um, and a push back up. I might call that morning wood. Yeah, let's go with that. So yeah, quite a few things. Yeah, you guys will hear me. You refer to those terms live, but when I'm putting down the receipts in my channel, I will use the proper terminology, or else one of the one of the chart prime members are gonna give me a stern talking to. Probably, I don't know. Because there was this one time, there's like a huge typhoon coming to the Philippines, and Alex was so cool about it. Like I wrote a whole message to him. I'm like, it might affect my internet, blah blah blah. I might not be able to do the stream, so I kindly blah 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 blah. And then so my long worded response, my long worded email or message, right? And Alex just replied with, "Lol, you're good." It's perfect. Alex is cool, so cool. Just imagine, I was just like terrified. Would it be able to do the stream? Here comes Alex, and he goes, "Lol, you're good." He's a great boss. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Yeah. All right. I hope our test can go through. I really don't want this to be. Oh no, we just got a trend shift diamond shift. So we might push back down. Yeah, you even got your high stochastics right there. Just the 3 minutes? Yeah, got high stochastics too. Oh no, it's not it's BTC. No, don't call it BBC. It's not the uh British Broadcasting Channel. Is that what BBC stands for? I think so. I'm not a Brit, so probably don't know what it is. Bearish butt cheeks, big black chocolate. Bearish butt. Yeah, have you guys ever like smoked a brisket before? And so, because when you smoke brisket, it gets black, right? It turns black, and my nephew-in-law. Well, actually, he wasn't my nephew-in-law then because he was still just dating my niece. And for context, my relatives are older than me, but in the family dynamic relationship, I am their uncle. So he started like a meat smoking business, and the word in Spanish and in Tagalog or Filipino for meat is carne. So I know Spanish uses C for their carne, but then here um, in Tagalog we use K, carne. So we were just joking with my nephew-in-law, just like, oh, it's your big black carne. He was just we just kept saying that out loud, and then my mom was just staring at all of us like, what is going on? What? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if we have any Spanish friends, but I think they can corroborate the carne, like the word carne. Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, man. We could also have Mexican friends who can corroborate it. Ooh. Welcome, McLeod. Welcome. Damn. This might actually go long before we go short. Not ideal, right? But given how the 4 hour is slated, the fact that it's broken below the zero line, excuse me, I do think we could push further down. I'm good. And welcome to the show. I'm Langstrom. So if you, again, for those who are new here, if you have any questions, I know we're just joking and kidding around right now, but don't be shy to ask any questions. Indicators, coins, assets, really anything that's on TradingView. All right, I won't bite, I promise. So yeah, welcome. Yeah, we're just having fun. while the rest of the market is in fear because it's currently in extreme fear. Uh, we're just having fun. Oof, I really love Pengu or like pudgy penguins. I don't know what it is with their art, but I absolutely adore it. I adore it so much. Rooney, welcome. Oh yeah, well, wait. Rooney's the guy with the Goku profile picture. Okay, love it. I love Goku. I grew up on Dragon Ball. Yeah. What were the animes that were coming? I know Naruto came out when I was like 4. Oh yeah. No, don't worry. It's not a noob question. Trading View doesn't really come with a tutorial, so you just kind of figure things as you go. But essentially, what you're looking for is this symbol right here. So when you go on desktop, this is sort of the default selections, right? It's this option, so you get it's forecasting and measurement tools, and then you can get projections. So when you plot it on your screen, right, you can adjust the entry, you can adjust the stop loss, and you can adjust the take profit, and you can see your risk to reward. So same thing with shorts. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. Again, um don't be shy. Yes, there are some questions. Well, actually there is no question that would be a noob question. Unless it's something super obvious like if the price hits 0, what happens then? I don't know, it hits 0. Actually, we should probably look at the Solana. Who is it? Is it the 1 day? I remember. Let's see the projection still here. Yeah, look at that, guys. Solana's going to negative 75. Crazy. I don't know how that's possible. But you know what? At that point, like the developers of Solana are paying you to hold their coin. So you know what? Negative 75. We're going to negative 75 on Solana. That's why I lost faith in the coin. Oh, ADA. Actually, I haven't checked out ADA in a while. So there, I mean, I'm sure we were here, or there was a time where U.S. narratives were, or any U.S. made crypto was just doing incredibly well. Why am I typing ADA coin? So let's look at ADA. So I mean, right now it's sort of in that same tight consolidation. You can see that this. Oh, this was what? Why is the thing here? That's wild. I don't. You can see, those are ideas that I didn't touch again. But right now, at least on the 12 hour, it's incredibly clear that you are in a downtrend, and one thing I did notice about uh, ADA in particular is that on the drop of Feb 6, notice how it never cleared or filled out any part of its wick. So technically, when you get a long wick, you usually fill about 70 to 90% of it, or you engulf it, or you get past it, right? You normally don't leave a huge wick like this and not test it. So given the downtrend, I am suspecting a move. Okay, I love how I said I'm suspecting a move, but I didn't even bother to measure with 70%. Okay, okay. I took a law exam recently, no calculator, so 9.7. It's probably close enough to maybe 6.4, something like this, right? So I am expecting a move to at least 0.2289, right? Just to fill out that wick. Now, it is possible you fall back into discount to get some buying support because, again, what wicks mark are, or what long wicks mark are points of liquidity. So market makers like to fill out wicks because people have their stop loss somewhere there or they have it at the end. So you might even wick below this. But essentially, this place right here would make a good place to maybe put a long. Because despite, well, it is still risky, of course. It's an altcoin. Bitcoin is technically the most stable coin out of all the cryptocurrency speculative coins you can think of, right? But I do think that ADA does have fairly solid narrative, and I do think that there is some value to looking at Cardano. So 0.2289, that's where I'd look for ADA, and you can see that it hasn't been performing similarly to Bitcoin, right? Oh, Bitcoin's dropped. Never mind. I guess our short's not happening. Wait, but our long is over here. You know what? Let's just leave that. Let's leave that be for now. There's still 8 minutes, so we can probably do one more assessment. But notice how it's not performing as well as we'd expect compared to the likes of Bitcoin. Actually, yeah. Because if you zoom out like this, there was a clear, there's a clear sort of descending channel, and I drew that for us, right? There's a from here down here, right? There was a clear descending channel. Let me fix this a little bit. There was a clear descending channel for Bitcoin. You broke out, you're retesting, you got a change of character, but no break of structure yet. So it is going to be a retest. Whereas for ADA, here on the 12-hour, it's not really anything. It's more like a box. It's more like a consolidation. Why did I say it that way? But yeah, it's more of a consolidation, right? It's closer to that of a box than it is to a channel of some kind, which tells me that there isn't any real confidence yet in something like Cardano. Yeah, entered short. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, you're welcome. There's still 6 minutes. So I think what I'll look at the hourly and I'll come back to you guys in an hour or so about what I want to do. Yeah. Because this looks pretty bearish. I mean, if this closes like this, that's pretty bearish. 245 112 0.051. Yeah. Can we see that? One day. Oh yeah, I mean, okay. This is back in 2023, so you know what? Let's go to 1 week. Yeah, I mean, we are back to your 2023. You don't even have data for ADA and Blowfin for that long. But I do see this as a potential area for entry. Yeah. Yeah, so it's right. Liquidity is what market makers are looking for, but they also want there's an incentive to convince people to just short outright. Right? There's incentive to build the shorts to the upside. So structurally, they might just be letting ADA do its thing, and then when there's no more volume pushing price up, it's very quick to just use a small amount, or a small is relative, right? Small for them is probably um, $1 billion, and then push price up. Yeah. So I do follow like sort of this contrarian idea that we want to follow liquidity where it lies, and we will look for reversals. Hence why I have prime blocks. We might actually get this might actually be setting up for a bullish butt cheek pattern right now. But I'm not convinced because of this wick. Yeah. You will not hear me use bullish butt cheek outside of streams. Yeah. If you're going to look at the my signals chat, I will use double bottom. But from here on out, I will use bullish butt cheeks. And I have to remember not to use it when streaming with the others. Imagine if it just slips. Like, let's say I'm streaming with Piper and OC, and then I go, yeah, so it's formed a bullish butt cheek pattern. They just look at me like, sorry, what? A bullish butt cheek? That'll be terrible. That'll be terrible. Oh goodness. I hope I remember not to use it. And then OC decides to do a deep dive into my streams, and he just goes, when did he start using this? Why in the world did he start using this? Yeah, I'm gonna pin Little Fish on it. Yeah, I'll be like, oh, it's Little Fish's fault. You know, butt cheeks can be sharp too. Let's not discriminate against sharp butt cheeks. A W is clearly a butt cheek. It's just really sharp. It's like his skeleton is all that's there. There's no muscle or fat. Clearly that's what's happening. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, Daga. No. M bearish W top. Yeah. Yeah. Bullish butt cheeks. Bullish. Oh, sorry. Is that the question? Okay, 2 minutes. Yeah, let's see how this closes. Obviously now that the 1 hour candle does have a body and you left a long wick, then you have an incentive to build up at least 70% of that, right? But it's not good because there's little body to really support your buying there. So if you get a candle here and it capitulates, closes below this, then you've got an invalidated bullish butt cheek. But yeah, I'll let the short through for now. Excuse me. And I'll contemplate on the bullish butt cheek for about an hour or two. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. But yeah, with that said, thank you guys for joining me. The 1 hour did print a... Actually, let's look at the 4 hour because it closed, right? So you're getting oversold signals. Yeah, so the 4 hours still looks like it has room to move. So I don't think I want to go long just yet. We could just scalp short it. The question is, where would it fall? Now, if it continues into this bullish butt cheek, then let's just see what happens. So I'll contemplate on the butt cheeks for an hour or two, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, thank you for joining me. That marks the end of the stream. I'll see you guys next week. My streams are Wednesday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. EST. Thank you for joining me. Once again, I am Langestrom. Don't forget to always use a stop loss. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.